We are live on YouTube, on Twitter, on Rumble. We will be live shortly on Rockfin. Ian, thank you for joining me today. Merry Christmas. We can watch Hans Gruber fall
Merry
one
Christmas.
more day closer to his inevitable death at the bottom of Nakatomi Tower. Now I have a machine gun.
Now I have a machine gun.
All right, we are now live on Rockfin as well. Let's dive into this. Maybe fake Santa will show up at some time with gifts. I heard a rumor from a reindeer that he might just be pulling in to this podcast on his sled. So we'll find out what he's bringing us. Colorado votes to remove Trump from the ballot. Expectations for the Epstein list that's going to be released, and 2023's most influential media, according to Mediaite. And maybe we'll get into some of Ian's Ian's become a troll on Threads, and I'm excited to hear a little bit about that. So top story is Santa came early in Colorado to a bunch of people who do not even like Christmas, as the Supreme Court there has declared Trump ineligible for the White House under the U.S. Constitution's insurrection clause, and they have removed him from the state's presidential primary ballot, which is an interesting clause to remove him under, since there are zero insurrection charges being brought against Trump by federal prosecutor Jack Smith, nor have there been any insurrection charges or convictions brought against anybody related to the January 6th so-called insurrection. So it's like a little backdoor way that they're trying to get it in there, and it'll go to the Supreme Court because it's being appealed. And obviously, this Supreme Court in Colorado, all of the judges were appointed by Democrats, and they said a majority of the court holds that Trump is disqualified from holding the office of president under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment in a 4-3 decision. So even though they're all appointed by Democrats, they still only got that by 4-3. Right now, this doesn't really mean anything legally because the court stayed their decision because they acknowledged in the document that they're in unprecedented territory and it's the first of its kind. It's bogus, basically, is what I read into that. And they're staying it until January 4th, which is the day before the official determination about whether or not Trump can be on the ballot is made. And if the Supreme Court says that they're going to be hearing the case before then Trump will be on the ballot in the meantime. Or the Supreme Court could make a decision before that. And obviously it's going to hinge on all of that. So I can't imagine the Supreme Court not reversing this ruling, but who knows? They would need to reverse all of the prongs of the ruling. I don't recall all. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. But, like, if they just reverse the fact that Trump can't be on the ballot, but they don't reverse the fact that the court concluded that Trump was an insurrectionist, then that will give other states grounds to file similar things, I believe. And, of course, it will go to the Supreme Court again, but that's like a backdoor way to get an official ruling by the Supreme Court that does not deny that Trump is an insurrectionist, since there are no insurrectionist charges against him. And if they did not reverse everything, all of these other states would follow in the footsteps of Colorado, and they would then effectively prove that our democratic republic doesn't work, is completely broken, and you don't get to vote who you want to vote for. We talked about the Civil War movie trailer the other day and how we both agreed that we don't think it's likely to happen here, but man, if you want to really try and trigger a civil war, telling people in a bunch of states that their vote really no longer counts when it comes to who they want to vote for, that's a good way to do it. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on this story?
Man, well, I think it's hilarious. I kind of expected it, and it's also one of those things that the left continually underestimates about the people who are going to vote for Trump. Do you know how much more fun it would be to write his name in? This changes nothing. Right. He'll sell fucking pens. This is what he would sell pens on. Remember, get my Trump pen to write my name in. Right?
You do a demonstration. Here's you get your ballot. You do a write-in, a little write-in.
You're just gonna write it in.
J. Trump.
Yeah. And I mean, come on. It's gonna end nothing. It also, and I have to agree, I saw Chris Cuomo say this, first of all, it's always interesting how these guys will sort of change their tone when
Yeah, on
they
a
move to a
different
new
network.
network, right? So, so he was saying that it just gives fuel to the narrative that Trump is being victimized by an aggressive justice system that is out to get him. And
Right.
it's not looking good for the left right now. They might have pushed too hard this time, but it's a long way till the election.
I think they pushed too hard on the Senate Judiciary floor in that video that's been going around.
Push it.
It was way too much pushing.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I think you're right. It just seems like such an obvious outcome of the. It's not going to stop people from supporting Trump. They keep touting this poll that says, so the headline is 23% of Trump supporters say they would not vote for him if he were convicted. First of all, it's a big if, thinking about appeals and everything too. Secondly, so 77% of them still will vote for him. And this is probably the most biased that they could get in the poll. So like the best that they could come up with, and because they conduct these polls with a goal in mind. We're gonna push an agenda this way, so we're gonna conduct a poll with this demographic, with these questions that gets us the data to support the outcome we want. And the best they could get is 23%. And yet they're like 23%. They act like it's just a substantial, and it just seems so obvious. And some people would say that they're trying to push it to Trump being elected, but the more they push him towards going or being locked up, like if they actually close the prison bar cells on him, again, people will still vote for him.
Sure.
But that kind of takes it to a whole new level, especially if it's in what they're now calling the Gitmo of Georgia, which I feel like they're prepping for if Trump is locked up there, Fulton County, which I've actually been.
I'll visit him every day.
Go visit him every day.
Every day.
People would protest and visit him all the time. You're right. They would. It would just make him more of a mythical figure.
Yep.
And so some of the Republicans' responses on Twitter, and somebody was on Laura Ingram's show last night, is they're now floating the idea of having Biden removed from state ballots, which I think would be hilarious if just the two main candidates are just getting removed from the ballot.
Yeah, so they
every
can't.
state.
Yeah, no, they're on not a ballot on anywhere.
Yeah,
great.
they just
Oh my
force
God,
us
it's so
to
fun.
vote for Nikki Haley or Kamala Harris or
Yeah.
Big Mike, whoever they
It's getting ridiculous.
Definitely. So the story that a lot of people have been talking about this week is the Jeffrey Epstein list story.
Yeah.
It was a ruling that the so-called list is going to be made public in 2024. First response is like, why is this like a teaser? Like I'm waiting for GTA 5 or 6 or something like. Why can't you just release it
Just
now?
release it.
Yeah, like the court's doing teasers now, but the list that they're talking about, I believe I don't know if it's his flight log list, which a lot of people talk about. I believe that it does include, though, some of the unnamed co-conspirators, which are listed in many of the court documents, which is what I have wanted released for a long, long time, because if you read the court documents, those co-conspirators are definitely complicit in whatever he was doing, and they definitely helped him get the sweetheart deal. When you read, like, there was a plea negotiation letter, and in the plea negotiation letter, which is what got Epstein the sweetheart deal, and he was facing potentially life in prison for what he was being charged with, and he only got 13 months. This is not the previous conviction, but the one back in, like, 2007.
Right.
And the people who were vouching for him, the plea negotiation letters, like your job references on a resume. It's he's a great person. This is why you should not put him in prison for the rest of his life. It was the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Rockefeller Foundation, and Bill Clinton personally. Right?
He got us great kids. I mean, his kids were top notch.
Yeah. So when people try to make the equation, well, Trump and Bill Clinton are all the exact same when it comes to this story. They're really not. Bill Clinton is on the
Did you ever
plea
see
negotiation letter.
the temple that they had on Epstein Island? It was like,
I saw images of it. Yeah.
like a Greco-Roman style thing. It was like this temple. You know what he said that was?
What?
Oh, that's just a music room.
Yeah, he's just playing music in there for
It's a music
children.
room.
I
Yeah,
guess?
it's a music room where there's an organ made of children's bones.
And filled with cameras.
Filled with filled with cameras, and there's just drains all along, grooves all
For
along.
all the blood,
and
just goes into
right, all the
it's like a
blood
smoothie
just-
machine.
Exactly.
They just go over and they fill
Yeah.
up the adrenochrome.
They blew it up. They blew it up.
They blew up the evidence.
They blew it up.
That's what they do. They
They
blow
blew up
these
the
things
music
up.
room. You gotta blow up the music room. You don't want anyone looking into your music room.
Yeah, so they act like we're going to blow this up because we want to get, it's just such a dark thing to have. Well, it's also getting rid of any other evidence that might still be there.
This is why it was a missed opportunity. If you and I had fuck you money, we could have led an expedition, a recon.
I thought you were going to say an insurrection. I was like, oh.
No, I'm never going to use that word, dude. It's just an erection, the January 6th erection.
Yeah.
No, we could have led like a recon team. We could have hired some ex-military friends, hired a recon team, and gone in and investigated Epstein Island. It could have been the next Alex Jones Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, we could have collected
video.
DNA, used that new DNA technology they're all talking about. Put a black light in there. God knows what you'd find.
My New Year's resolution is for you and I to figure out how to get fuck you money.
I'm down with that. I support that resolution very much.
Okay.
Thomas says most major recording studios are allegedly Masonic temples.
Yep.
I can see that. Music has so much
Makes-
power.
Yep.
And you see Taylor Swift. I can't name one Taylor Swift song, and I am very proud of that. And I'm sick and tired of the NFL being about Taylor Swift now. But Taylor Swift is obviously going to be used as a leverage for the Democrats. Her music, there's a lot of theories about her background and her being kind of a created character put into this position where she has kind of reached pinnacle of power, which kind of almost replacing the queen bee, what's her name, Jay-Z's wife, who's like white
Beyonce.
now. I don't know if you've seen the images of her. She looks like Michael Jackson.
Well, that's not going to work out well. For her.
Right. Yeah.
That is definitely not fashionable.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not. But
No. If you do not want to try to pass yourself off as white.
No, right. She's kind of.
You do not want to try to do that. That is bad move.
So Taylor Swift is going to be telling people to vote. She's going to be telling her supporters to go support or oppose Trump. There's no doubt about that. And so the Epstein list, what I expect is I expect it to be very underwhelming. I think that it says here that some of the documents released are going to include information about some people who died, including someone who died in 2018, which was a rich guy. I can't remember his name, but was widely associated with Epstein and featured in photos on the island. And it will also include people associated with Maxwell. And I bet that it won't include the person who's in the plea negotiation letter as a reference, which is Bill Clinton. Almost definitely certain it's not going to include him. And after Epstein's death, it says here in the article, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan indicated it would focus on the conspiracy charge against him, which accused him of doing the massive operation of the vast sex trafficking ring that involved dozens of girls and a lot of co-conspirators. And that conspiracy count could allow prosecutors to charge anyone else involved in the scheme, why wouldn't they have charged them already? Because they've been immune from being charged under the co-conspirator plea negotiation letter. And so we'll see what happens there. I would not get my hopes up that we're going to get any damning revelations.
No, it's not going to be anything good.
Yeah,
it's not, the list is going to have Pee Wee Herman. It's going to have some dead people on there. It's not going to be anything good.
Smear some dead people. And I will say this. I researched that before it was ever mainstream news back in 2015. I think even a little bit before that. I have what I've been told is one of the oldest videos that hasn't been stripped from YouTube about that story that I posted in 2015. And I started researching it on the assumption that both Trump and the Clintons were pedophiles. That was my starting assumption. And I read through hundreds and hundreds of court pages. I talked to the lawyer of one of the victims. I talked to him personally, and somebody else interviewed him, and he says something similar in a video. But what I found was that the person who comes out looking the best out of all of these possible elites is Trump. And this is coming from somebody who hasn't voted for Trump. But when you look at the court documents, he was the only one. This is what the lawyer told me. He said when he tried to get these people to do a deposition, all of these elites and rich people like Ghislaine Maxwell, and they all found a way to avoid the deposition. Ghislaine Maxwell in particular, she said that she's not in the country right now, and she's taking care of her sick mom over in the UK, and that she would never be coming back to the U.S. ever.
Right. But she was living in New Hampshire, right?
Well, 2 months later, she was photographed at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. in New York.
Okay.
So that was obviously not true. And
Right.
Trump, the lawyer told me, and this is a lawyer who sued Trump about other issues related to his golf course years before. They're not like buddies. He told me that the only person that helped was Trump. That Trump picked up the phone, called him, and he told him everything he knew, and that as far as he knows, he has nothing to do with Epstein's operation. And so this is based on information available to me, and the court documents. It doesn't look good for a lot of these other people who may or may not be involved and refused a deposition. So take that for what you will. They say the time that Trump flew on the plane, and this is in depositions that came from people who worked on Epstein's his businesses, the cooks and the workers and stuff. They say Trump he came into the kitchen, talked to the people who worked, and then left, didn't go sit down with all the other people. Interpret that how you will. And again, I've never voted for Trump. I'm just telling you what I learned doing the due diligence when I researched this thing a while back. They refused to put this story in the news until Trump was president, and he had Jim Acosta, I think it's Jim Acosta, not the one on CNN, but the prosecutor, who was the prosecutor in Florida at the time, who is the one who gave Epstein the deal. And he was in Trump's cabinet, right? That's when they made it a Trump story, and they freed up people to talk about it because they said, this guy helped out Epstein, so Trump put him in his cabinet, which wasn't the truth. The truth was, when you read the court documents, is his entire team, Jim Acosta's team, was threatened, bullied. A lot of them quit. I think there was one officer that even died in a little bit of mysterious circumstances, and it was just a campaign of pressure by Epstein's goons that got him to kind of cave. I'm sure there's a lot more details to that, but that's what I know about it. And so now I have a very interesting story that I think everybody, especially the men, are going to want to hear about. Researchers have discovered that the Christmas period, is associated with a significantly higher risk of penile fractures. Did you know this?
No. I better be very careful.
Everybody needs to be careful.
Watch
the
out.
men especially, because I'm going to put this on screen so you can see so there you go. Risk of penile fractures rises.
Wow.
At Christmas, see, it's from The Guardian here, a very credible news source. And they describe penile fractures as a medical emergency in which the erection-producing regions of the penis snap.
Did they say anything about these being self-inflicted?
They did not, but
Okay. So,
imagine
they
some of
didn't
them.
say it couldn't be, so it's possible.
They did say it couldn't be. I imagine they probably could be. And they say usually they snap as a result of forceful bending during over-enthusiastic sexual intercourse. And scroll down here. The injury tends to
That
occur
guy's gonna get
during
his dick
wild
snapped.
sex, particularly in positions where you're not in direct eye contact with your partner, such as reverse cowgirl, says Dr. Nicholas Pryguides, who's a urologist at Ludwig
Pyrgides?
Maximilian. This is in Germany where they did this research. And the fractures are often heralded by an audible crack, ow, followed by severe pain, rapid loss of erection, that's a given, and severe swelling and bruising. The doctor said, when patients present to their doctor, their penis often looks like an eggplant.
Jeez.
Just be careful is the message here, I think.
I mean, and don't be filming an ASMR sex tape and have this happen. 'Cause
Especially in Congress.
That audible crack.
That's just, yeah, I know.
What a way to describe it.
Everything about reading this article.
What
and I
kind of
apologize
crack
to the
did you
men.
hear? What kind of crack did you
I
hear?
just heard one that was very painful to me in a visceral way, is what I heard.
Yeah.
So it goes on to say that the researchers suspect that the intimacy and euphoria of the festive season are a risk factor for this type of injury. And the study, which is the first to explore seasonal patterns for penis breaking, found that such injuries were indeed more common over Christmas. In fact, if every day were like Christmas, 43% more penile fractures would have occurred in Germany from 2005 on. That's a lot of penile fractures to deal with.
Yeah.
And they also found that there was an increased risk on weekends and over the summer holidays. And New Year's Eve, however, was not associated with an increase in penis injuries. And the hospital admissions for penile fractures remained relatively consistent during COVID-19 pandemic and lockdowns, with the average age of people sustaining such injuries being 42. So the older you get, the more likely your penis is to break. Seems to be the story.
Well, the New Year's Eve one is easy to explain. That's all the cocaine. So there's nothing.
It's just nothing's going to break.
Nothing's going to break there.
And this is my favorite part of the article here. Most penile fractures occur in unconventional scenarios, such as during extramarital affairs or when sex is performed in unusual locations, like the Senate floor, perhaps. And so it also happens to people approaching midlife. So they say if it does happen to you, you need to go to the doctor immediately, which is unfortunate for somebody who's having an affair because they're probably going to get exposed in more ways than one. Why does your penis look like an eggplant, honey?
I got bit by a bee.
I got bit by a Democrat.
I was in a changing room and there was a bee.
Yeah, a Democrat hated how cis I was, and he tried to bite my penis off. Or she, whatever. They tried to bite it off. Whatever. There's also, according to this article, it's not meant to. There's other injuries associated with Christmas, like Christmas tree injuries, people falling off things, fairy lights, people electrocuting themselves, turkey trauma from stuffing their mouth too much, champagne corks, getting shot by champagne corks, swallowing. What is Baubles? What is that? Bubbles? Baubles? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, baubles. Small
toy parts.
baubles.
Oh, toy parts from Christmas presents. That's what it is. And then also heart disease is up at Christmas, I guess, stress. And then Santa injuries from falling off of Santa's lap.
Oh, and getting your dick fractured.
Right, and you fracture your penis.
Or you fracture
why are you
his.
42 years old sitting on Santa's lap?
Yeah, how many Santas get their dicks fractured? Do you think? I'd like to see that study.
They would like to admit. So we're going to have a special guest here. And you know what? Since he showed up here, I think we ought to go ahead and bring him in.
Wow.
And see what he has to say. Then we will get to the couple of other stories that we have here. I hate to make the former president wait.
Oh, my gosh.
It's an honor to have you here.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, Mr. President.
We're deep in it right now. We're deep in it. We're deep in the war on Christmas.
Yeah. Well, don't bend your penis the wrong way. The deeper you get, you don't want it to break.
Stand the line. Stand the line.
Yeah, hold the line.
Hold the line, yeah.
I don't understand where you're getting some of your news articles from these days, Brad.
It's Drudge Report is where I got that one, which Drudge comes in at number 5 in Mediaite's most influential news media of 2023. I'm going to give you some more people on that list here in a minute, but that's where I got that story. I imagine you don't have that problem.
Baubles are like tchotchkes, Brad. They're like small little things that you put on your shelves.
Oh, I thought you were going to say on your privates.
No, I was not going to say that, Brad. I'm not I don't do lowbrow humor. I'm a lot smarter than that.
Melania probably has like little baubles and things around the house. She seems like the kind of,
she's got a kink box.
Right.
Yeah, she's got baubles everywhere.
Yeah.
I got those Funko Pops. I'm one of those Funko Pop collectors these days.
Really? I didn't know. I'm not sure what a Funko Pop is.
The little statues with the giant heads on them.
Oh,
it's not a candy? I thought it was a candy.
No, the Funko Pop.
What do you think about a bobblehead of like Muhammad Ali? Probably would have been inappropriate in the day, back in the day.
Well, maybe a bobblehead of Muhammad the Prophet.
Whoa.
I don't know about Muhammad Ali.
Well, yeah, you got one of those, Mr. President?
I got one of everything.
All right, yeah, you're just a collector. That's all you are. So
you are probably a very difficult person to buy a Christmas gift for.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to get something for the man who's got everything. I'll tell you that's for sure.
You know what I get? You know what I bet, though? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I talked over you, Brad.
Do you have any Christmas gift wishes?
World peace. World peace is the first thing on my list. And, I could have it in less than 24 hours.
That's what you tell us. Is there any comment on getting removed from the ballot, so right now anyway, in Colorado?
I mean, come on. That's some type of hoax. The Supreme Court's going to overturn it. We all know that. These people are idiots. They're idiots. They have no idea what's going on. They love sucking their own dicks, don't they?
Whoa, Mr. President. Their own broken dicks, possibly.
They just fold up and
Mr. President, Mr. President, have you ever fractured your penis?
Absolutely not. I do exercises.
Oh.
Yeah, you hang weights on it.
Yeah, when I go jogging, I've got a 4.5 pound weight hanging off of it.
Wow. Jeez. That's impressive, Mr. President. There's a lot of bouncing around when you're jogging, so I imagine you can withstand anything. I received a package from you, haven't
Yeah,
opened it yet.
I got you guys some Christmas gifts. You guys are at the top of my list.
So
Oh wow.
You guys and General Flynn.
it's green, so you can only see part of the stocking that you sent me because it's blending in with my background here. But here's the stocking that I got in the mail
You
from
know, I
you.
probably should have thought about that. You guys being television guys, I should
Yeah.
have thought no green, no blue.
Well, can I open this live for everybody to see?
Oh yeah, I'd love for you to open it live.
All right. Well, you guys are going to see it live. I'm going to open my gift from the former President Trump. See what he got me. It appears the first thing in my stocking is a double cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
delicious.
That's very. I appreciate that, Mr. President. These are
Oh
very.
yeah, they're my favorite. They're
yeah.
my
that's-
favorite.
I mean, I'm honored to get that. I know you give these out when you had football teams visit the White House. I'll be sure
Well,
to
Brad,
enjoy
that burger's fresh. It's fresh.
It's fresh. It feels still warm still. I don't know how, but it still feels
Well,
warm.
I bought it from a local McDonald's.
Yeah, support local McDonald's.
You know, I flew in. I got these stockings together,
You
and then I
flew
left.
in?
That's right.
I am honored that you flew in for me. The next thing in my stocking appears to be a liter of Diet Coke.
Wow.
Well, you know, Brad, I'm not trying to say something, but you gained a little bit of weight.
All right, I'll be sure and stay fit. That'll be one of my New Year's resolutions. I have a couple more gifts in here in the stocking. This looks like a book if I had to predict. Let me see what you got me here. You sent me a copy of Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler, Mr. President.
Whoa.
You know, I read it every night, Brad.
That's
Keep
what
it
they
on your
tell us.
nightstand.
They say you have his
Say.
books and you have his speeches right there next to your bedstand.
Just right there. You know, I'm practicing to be a dictator for a day.
Right. So you got to know everything you can. And I have one more here. This one's a bit heavy.
I spared no expense.
It's just-
Wow.
Is this a Civil War sword?
That's
Mr.
right.
President?
It was actually my great grandfather's sword.
Wow.
That is. I'm honored. I don't know how you even got that in this stocking. Feels like
Well, I'm a
magical.
president. You know, presidents can do magical things.
Well,
Wow.
Just look
So?
at Biden. He can almost fly at this point.
Who?
Biden.
He can fly?
Yeah, look at him. He flew up those stairs.
Yeah.
He flies onto the floor.
He does a lot of amphetamines, I think. So I think it might.
Oh, they used to put cocaine eye drops in Adolf Hitler's eyes.
Well, maybe I'll learn that in my new book you got me in this gift. I appreciate the gifts, the cheeseburger, the Diet Coke, Mein Kampf, and the Civil War sword. I don't think I've ever gotten a combination of gifts more personal than that, Mr. President.
Well, I'm a big history buff. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta learn history, or you'll be destined to repeat it.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
what do you think Hitler would have thought of the cover that they chose for Mein Kampf? Like if they showed him that, they're like, oh, okay, Adolf, we got some ideas for
This
the cover.
right here.
Yeah,
Well, I guess.
yeah.
Like,
What do you
just a
think?
full black.
You know, Hitler was a real minimalist.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he was a minimalist, but he also was he didn't like black people either, so he might have wanted just an all white cover. Like, I don't know. I will say this though. People who tell people in the media, usually on the left, not to read Mein Kampf are telling you not to read about propaganda techniques that they do.
Huh.
So it's a deterrent. I'm not saying they're Hitler. I'm saying they use the same propaganda
Ian,
techniques.
did you not receive your stocking?
I think it got lost in the mail.
No,
Well,
I
it must
didn't
have been-
receive
Intercepted by warlords then.
Yeah.
Should I have gotten a
That's the
stocking?
most likely possibility.
I mean, I got a stocking for you. I'm surprised you didn't get it. I guess the deep state intercepted it.
Well, that happens from time to time.
Do you? What was in it? Do you want to tease it or?
Well, there was a cheeseburger in it, but I put an
Yeah.
apple pie in it. because I know Ian's got a sweet tooth for those apple pies.
Yes, and I'm a proud American, so.
Yeah.
And
Did
then 4,000 jelly beans.
Wow.
Wow. Wow, thank you. You know how much I love jelly beans. I bet you picked out all the black ones, too.
Yeah, there were no black ones in there. Those are disgusting.
They're all
Yeah,
white.
see?
They're all white jelly
you can't
beans.
say things like that, Mr.
No,
President.
the black jelly beans. Those are the ones. They taste like licorice. I don't like that black licorice.
They probably make them taste the worst on purpose so that they can accuse people of racism for not eating them.
I
I imagine that it's what Jägermeister tastes like.
No, it does taste a lot like Jägermeister. It's disgusting. So, Mr. President, we're about to go through this list of Mediaites. It's actually the top 75 influential news media.
Mediaite like a really small journalist or a small rock in space?
Yeah, it's a small little newspaper, like a small little newspaper that hits the earth.
Yeah, Mediaite
Space.
is. And it crashes into every Republican or right-leaning narrative and lies about it, mostly. Now, we're not going to go through all of these. We're going to just go through just a couple of them that I found to be, noteworthy. Let me see if I can get it on the screen here. Right there. There you see 75 most influential in the news media. Number 75 was actually stood out to me because it was everybody's old friend, Brian Stelter. Brian Stelter at 75, they say he departed CNN last year, but even without a major network behind him, he remained a reliable source, which is that's like that's how you know they're full of it. Because Brian Stelter is the most unreliable source of anything. He's a propagandist. He lies about almost everything. He tried to cover up the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. I have a video of it. Years ago, before they were freely allowed to talk about it. And it says he joined Vanity Fair as a special correspondent and a podcast host covering major news events. He maintained a consistent presence on the airwaves as a guest on MSNBC, News Nation, and even CNN. He wrote a book called Network of Lies, in which he told the story of how Fox News promotion of the 2020 election conspiracy, talking about your so-called election conspiracy, that there was widespread fraud. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying is misreported brutal $787.50 settlement. That's not accurate.
Yeah, it doesn't seem accurate right there. It's $787 settlement. I think they say million settlement with Dominion Voting Systems, who was also on this list, by the way, which is weird.
Are any of them talking about the super train that Biden's making between Las Vegas and Los Angeles?
The super train, what is that?
He's got this. He's making a really fast train that Biden at the shortest distance possible.
I didn't know he was doing that.
Yeah, apparently he said the cost was going to be something like $300 billion.
Right. And shouldn't we be giving that money to Vladimir Zelensky?
To Ukraine. We should be giving it all to Ukraine.
Yeah. Right. We don't need to get anywhere faster. So number 68, maybe you guys have heard of this guy. Where is he? Sink Uyghur.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what's that show that he's on, Sink?
Young Turks.
The Young Turks.
Cenk.
That's right.
I think it's Cenk.
I thought that was the guy
You
from...
can't say that. You can't say
No,
his
I think
name.
it's Cenk.
I think
I
people
thought
do
that
call him
was
Cenk.
the guy from the Goldbergs and Larry David show, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, this guy. You thought this Cenk Uyghur was on Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah, I thought he was Jeff for a second.
He looks like he's bowing up to a woman here, like he's about to fight her in this image.
Yeah, that's definitely the stance you take right before you fight a woman.
Number 68 stood out to me also, which is Oliver Darcy, which is Brian Stelter's protege. He's the guy who actually is what led to Alex Jones being kicked off of the platforms years ago. Not anything Alex Jones said. This guy is a cum stain, is what he is.
Oh, he looks really credible right there.
He doesn't he? Yeah.
Looks like he's on about his 5th Jack and Coke.
I'm sure that he probably is. There's Harris Faulkner there, 66. Let's skip down to 55. This is a CNN lady. 50. Where are we here? Dana Bash. Gail King at 59.
Oh yeah.
So Dana Bash, who took over or he shares the duties of State of the Union with Jake Tapper, and she is the one who was interviewing Vivek the other day, and every time Vivek tried to say, here are some facts that are on record, she would just interrupt him and say, I'm not even going to say the word
Shut
you're
up,
saying.
shut up, Vivek. Shut up,
Yeah.
shut your mouth, Vivek.
Basically. And beating her is her old colleague at a new network. Chris Cuomo at News Nation comes in at the 54th most influential anchor. It says, have your say with Chris. Did you guys know this? You can call in to Chris Cuomo's show. That's what they say anyway. They also say that you can call in to Charles Barkley and Gayle King's new CNN show called King Charles.
You know, we love that. We love that Fredo Cuomo.
Yeah, I tried to call in to Barkley's show, and it was I did it live. I tried to call in multiple times, and I never got through. And then they took one phone call, and the one phone call was a pre-recorded call from Shaquille O'Neal. So I imagine that Cuomo does kind of the same. I can't imagine any of these people taking live calls. Because you'd be calling all day, Mr. President.
I mean, they wouldn't know how to deal with a live call. You know,
I don't think
these
so.
people are robots.
And yeah, this guy.
Oh, he's a piece of shit.
Mehdi Hassan. Yeah, a lot of people feel the same way about him.
Muppet face.
Muppet face Mehdi Hassan. You know, they'll call you Hitler for saying that, Mr. President.
Yeah, they already call me Hitler. I'm used to it.
This guy is just, he spreads rhetoric. I mean, they all spread rhetoric, but he's not even, they're all so aggressive in their propagandistic tactics. And what I can't remember what it was he did recently, but the fact that he was on a mainstream network was really kind of shocking because he lose my train of thought here. Now what do you guys remember what he got? He got fired, I think, from MSNBC. I can't remember why. Like, you got to do something really extreme to get fired from them.
I don't remember.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Here's what it says here about him.
Did he vote for a Republican?
No, he didn't vote for a Republican.
I mean, that's what'll get you fired from MSNBC.
That's true. So he was on some. Maybe he didn't get fired from him. He is an Oxford-educated journalist, and he turned his gift for verbal sparring into a New York Times bestseller on the art of debating and persuading and public speaking. And his fierce and swift enunciations of Israel drew criticism, and so he got canceled after that. And then, without his own shows, he still commands influence on X. They say he's got 1.4 million followers on X, and he's awful usually for the most part. And then we go down a little bit more, and you get a guy that you used to spar with, Mr. President, Jim Acosta of CNN.
Jim Acosta also looks like he's a mob boss.
He looks like a villain on Star Trek. That's what he looks like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so he does a lot of folding up on this show. There's nothing serious about Jim Acosta. Laura Ingraham comes in there at number 47, and then you have the porcelain doll, Caitlin Collins, coming in at number 46, and right below Caitlin Collins is, well, Jen Psaki.
Oh, wow.
At number 44. And so I want to take a second here to take this off screen, and I want to see if you guys agree with another story that I found. It was a list of the question in this story. Is Jen Psaki the hottest woman in American politics? Our top 5 rankings.
Well, at
What do
least
you
they
guys
put
think?
Bobert on there.
I mean,
At least they put Bobert on there.
come on.
Right?
She's got a metal plate in her forehead.
You saying Jen Psaki does?
Yeah, look at the size of it. It's got to
She's
be a
like an
metal
8
plate.
head. Let's see what number she came in on the rankings. Kristi Noem came in at number 5. I'll give you that.
She's, I think
She's a hottie.
cute. Yeah,
A lot of
she's
people
hot.
float her for your potential VP candidate. Then you have Gretchen Whitmore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, sorry.
No.
Kristi
no.
Noem. You gotta flip that. Sorry.
Get Gretchen Whitmore
This was
out
not a
of here.
list put. This was not a list put together by men.
No. I mean, give me. It's like they
This,
only
no,
put in
this
the
was not
Republican.
put together by men.
She's
Sorry.
on no list anywhere else. AOC, I'll give you AOC, especially with that photo.
Especially that video.
Yeah, I'll give you AOC. Lauren Boebert, I'll give you
What
Lauren
was
Boebert.
that video? Was it more of her ASMR?
No, that was.
No,
It was she made a
dancing.
video singing the Breakfast Club song when she was in college,
and
and she did a
bounces
dance
around.
and everything. So Boebert at number 2, I give you that.
Yeah.
Well,
Fuck,
who's the
no,
one that's
there's
missing?
absolutely no
Jen Psaki,
way.
Number
number one.
Number one
No.
is Jen Psaki, they say.
You got to be out of your mind. People, there's not enough people that prefer gingers for her to be number one.
Yeah, which one of these would have made it in one of your Miss Universe contests?
I'll tell you, Jen Psaki wouldn't have. She wouldn't have made it anywhere near the door.
There's her grabbing improv balls with her hand there.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what she's doing. She's grabbing them by the balls right there.
Here's what it says.
She's got a $30 million. I'll tell you how she managed to amass a $30 million fortune. She's a fucking corrupt bitch.
Yeah, she is.
That's
Something
how you
about
fucking
Reddit.
amass that.
Why does the press secretary? Why is
she
the
worth
press
30 million?
secretary worth $31 million?
That's the kind of fuck
Yep.
you money we need, Brad. Mr. President, Brad and I have decided to get fuck you money.
Yeah, we have a plan. That's our goal for 2024.
Well, you got to monetize your talents, gentlemen.
Listen to what this says here. It says something about redheads. I know this pick will be most likely controversial among readers on her appearance because it's polarizing. You either think she's beautiful or you think she looks like a troll.
What the article says?
Yeah, that's what the article says.
So we put her at number one because she's so controversial. She's a clear winner.
She's got a shovel face.
She does have a shovel face.
That is true.
Yeah, it says that her way of speaking is so incredibly attractive. While processing policies that advance an anti-family agenda, Psaki maintains an extremely conservative lifestyle outside of politics, hinting at a sort of hidden intelligence.
You know, I'd have to eat Prilosec before talking to her.
It goes Whitmer, Psaki, Nome, AOC, Boebert. That's
They
how
don't
this
even
list
have
goes.
Nancy Mason there.
Who are the people behind this article again?
This article originates at something called Rare by a guy named Troy Smith. I don't know. I've never heard of
And
it.
is he a homosexual?
There's probably a strong possibility that he's homosexual. It says that he would bet good money that Psaki knows what she's pushing is So this guy, maybe he's doing this ironically. Maybe that's what this is. But it says not only is she beautiful, she somehow managed that $30 million fortune. And
Why does the press secretary have $30 million?
that's a good
I don't
question.
know, Mr. President.
Why does a crackhead who films selfie cam sex videos in sensory deprivation tanks have millions and millions of dollars and a thriving career as an artist?
Because his father takes money from the Chinese government.
I think that that's a good possibility as well, Mr. President.
Wow.
Did you see Hunter Biden's statement recently?
I loved it.
Oh, were you not talking about Hunter Biden just then?
Yeah, that's exactly who I was talking about. Yes. Did you see his statement where he said that he's being persecuted and he's the victim?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's being persecuted with over 400 charges at one time.
Right.
In every state in the United States of America.
Oh, I love it. It's hysterical to me. What was it on? I think it was on Jimmy Dore. He was like comparing it to an Al Capone's speech.
It was.
And the similarities.
It was just. It was something that only someone who knows they have the full protection of the United States government could do.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric Swalwell helped him arrange the whole thing, apparently. I heard Thang is dead.
It's a little
Is that true?
obstruction. It's a kind of I mean, what Eric Swalwell did is a little bit of obstruction of justice, maybe.
Everything they do is obstruction.
He did conspire with him knowingly that he knew he was going to avoid this hearing at the house, the deposition at the house, or whatever it was. So I mean, little obstruction-y maybe.
And they get away with all
Biden's just an old man with a speach impediment.
Yeah,
It's
right.
fine.
And I told everybody about that comment yesterday in the show, Mr. President. I thought that was a funny comment when a friend of mine complained about Biden. He sent a video to me and some friends in a group chat and said, astonishing, you can't understand a word Biden's saying. And the response from the progressive friend in the chat was, he's just an effing old man with a speech impediment. And that's the way, that is the fractured brainwashing mind responding
Yeah, so maybe should be sitting on his porch sipping on some tea or something.
Yeah, sniffing some daughters and whatever.
Sniffing, yeah.
Yeah.
Throwing a
Showering
ball
with
for
his daughter.
throwing a ball for his rabid German shepherds.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Just getting rid of dogs left and right after he used them as pawns.
Instead
So
of letting his son run around cheesing his balls off.
yeah, he should be running around with his son, helping him out. Maddow at 33 seems to be. It kind of looks like Stephen Colbert. I think
She
she's
and
probably
Chris
just-
Hayes are the same person.
Yeah, right. Her Chris Hayes and Colbert feel like they could all be the same. The View comes in at 33. Anderson Cooper at 29. Let's see. Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan at 26 and
Bannon's
24.
on that list? That's interesting.
I feel like they're a little like Tucker Carlson's probably a little low there.
I like
Joe
that
Rogan?
Tucker Carlson.
Rogan is number 24. I'm
Number
sorry.
24,
He's
right.
got to be in the top 5. You're out
Rogan
of
is
your
below
fucking
Greg
mind.
Gutfield. I mean, can you give me a break?
This is the
Rogan below Greg
stupidest
Gutfield.
fucking list
I
I've
know.
ever seen.
And so let's get down even further here. Pierce Morgan is also ahead of Rogan. Ben Shapiro, Stephanopoulos ahead of Rogan. And coming in at number 14, Jesse Waters of
Oh,
Fox
come
News.
on.
This is Mediaite trying to tell people that these right-wing figures that they don't like Jesse Waters, it has more influence. I mean, Jesse, really?
I mean, yeah,
I don't ever watch
I
him.
can't get through, any of the Jesse. I mean, it's just.
I can't either. It's just I can't get through it.
I mean, all I remember about Jesse Waters is his man
He-
on the street stuff.
Yeah,
he-
me too.
I'm
reminds
Waters,
me-
and you're
he-
in my world.
He
Waters
reminds me-
world.
He reminds me of the actor who plays the coach on Friday Night Lights, the TV series.
Yeah, he does kind of look like that guy. Elon Musk at number 10.
Okay.
Number 9, Susanna Scott. I'm not.
Never
she's a
heard
Fox-
of her.
I've never
Elon
heard of her
Musk
either.
isn't a journalist.
I know. Well, they say media, so I guess these people they say are in media. You're going to see who number 1 is. Number 1 is not at all media person.
No,
number one's
number one
hilarious.
is me.
Look at this. Steven, you're not on the
Give
list.
me a break.
Stephen A. Smith, the sportscaster, is number 8. Jake Tapper of CNN is number 7. Bill Maher, number 6. This is a bullshit list. Drudge, number 5. Megyn Kelly, number 4. So Megyn Kelly, who they just outed, they pushed her out. Now they have her at number 4 because they don't like some of the stuff she talks about. Then you have
Are
Joe
you
Scarborough
serious?
and Mika Brzezinski and Willie Geist together sharing number 3. We all know the globalist connections with them.
You
And
take
Scarborough killed his intern. Go ahead.
No, you take 10. You take 10 of these people on the list, 10 of these shows on the list. You put them all together, and they do not have the viewership of Rogan.
No,
They don't.
Not even
Not
close.
even fucking close.
not even close.
I'm
This
pretty
is
sure
ridiculous.
Scarborough, he's the one who was whacking off on his computer too, right?
No, that was Jeffrey Toobin. I'm sure Scarborough does too. Scarborough was the governor of Florida when his intern mysteriously fell and hit her head and died. And there was a lot of scandal about that. And the left used to write articles about how it sure appears like he might have murdered her allegedly. And now they don't even talk about that because he is married to Mika Brzezinski, whose father Brzezinski is a big, he was like George Soros before George Soros. He wrote all the globalist playbooks back in the day.
Just
And
like
Derek-
they don't talk about, Crisco Christie killing those grandmothers.
Killing grandmothers in New Jersey. Sean Hannity at number 2. I thought that was a little surprising as well. I know that they hate Sean Hannity. And number 1, any guesses on who number 1?
I love that Sean Hannity. He's a really sweet man. Really sweet man. He knows a bunch of different martial arts too.
That's what he says. That is what he says. What do you guys think number 1 is for Mediaite's most influential in news media 2023?
He said it's not a media person.
It's not.
Um,
It's not a person at all.
Oh, is it the Facebook kid?
No. Well, yeah, no, I don't mean like a robot. I mean it's Dominion voting systems
are you fucking kidding me?
with an image that says Fox is guilty.
Oh, yeah,
2023?
the same systems that overthrow small governments in third world countries for the CIA.
The systems that have been shown to have problems that Fox News, I always thought Fox News taking that settlement, I thought that was part of like give them validity. I think Fox News was like in on it. And because there are stories about this company that are corrupt. Like one of the guys who was the president of Smartmatic, and they worked with Smartmatic, like they were part of Smartmatic, or they worked with them. I can't remember exactly what the connection was, but it was a strong connection. The Smartmatic guy, his name is what is it? What's the devil's name? His name's slipping my mind right now. It's another name for the devil. Moloch. His name is Moloch. And he is a British diplomat who lives next door to George Soros in New York. He's George Soros' best friend, and he's been going to other countries. He's a UK ambassador.
Are you sure his name's not Malachi? They actually named their kid Moloch?
His name is Moloch. Yeah, it's his last name. It's something Moloch. I can't remember his first name. But he's been bragging about interfering in foreign elections since the 80s. I found articles of this guy in the 80s talking about how he went over there and they ran a campaign to overthrow one of the people who was in office and put someone else in. And ever since about late 80s, early 90s, or whenever the election machines came in, this has been the guy who has been spreading these voting machines worldwide, a guy who's known for interfering in foreign elections. He's also been mentoring Stacey Abrams a little bit, from what I can understand, because Stacey Abrams has been going overseas to watch over elections in other countries. Like she's like training to be this next. It's like Moloch Brown, something like that. His last name might be Brown. His first name might be Moloch, but it's demonic either way.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And so they're number one. And they say that it's a year of chaos, but it may be remembered far more by the tribulation faced by major players than the victories when it comes to media. Of all those, the one that towered over others, Dominion Voting Machines and its defamation suit against Fox News. In the end, a voting technology company slayed and humbled an American media titan. What a crock of shit. Fox News
slayed and humbled?
It's slayed, raped, and humbled.
Well, how do you slay and humble?
They may as well just give it number one to the Central Intelligence Agency.
How do you do that?
That's what it was.
The other alphabet agencies that have all gone rogue.
Yeah.
They're all completely off their rockers.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so corrupt.
What was that comment? I saw a comment. I want to know what it was.
He was doing drum roll. It made me think of Christmas Vacation when he's putting the lights up.
Yeah, and honestly, you should have been somewhere on that list, sir.
I thought you should have been too. I think they probably purposely ignore you, Mr. President.
You want to start down taking media titans.
Now, here's an interesting fact, because Swalwell did help organize that Hunter Biden press conference. I know a lot of people know this, but did you guys know that the Chinese mistress, Fang Fang, who Swalwell was sleeping with, that she died in a plane crash that was caught on video last year?
Oh.
It sounds dirty. Fang Swalwell.
Yeah, well, she's dead now, so.
Yeah, wow.
I guess it's too soon.
It's too soon. Too soon. And, every time somebody dies, is like an intelligence asset of some country. It doesn't mean it's, doesn't mean there's something corrupt going on there. It could be legitimate, but sometimes it might be something corrupt going on there, like somebody murdered them.
Yeah, I mean, Russia, never poisons any of the people who go against Putin. Those people just accidentally get poisoned.
I love how everyone who dies in Russia, Putin killed. You guys notice that?
Yeah, Putin killed him with his chest.
He
doesn't matter who it is.
He does imprison or kill a pretty high rate of people who go against him. Like, it's better to work for him.
I think it's 100% of the people who ever said anything against Putin, according to CNN. Putin murdered them himself, like an old lady.
What about all the biolabs?
You can't even say that in Russia. Or Putin.
What about all the biolabs in Ukraine?
Well, Rand Paul talks about that, and a lot of people have been talking about Fauci lately and how he lied about that, and should Fauci be prosecuted? What are your thoughts on that, Mr. President?
I mean, I really don't like that Fauci.
You know what they'll say, though? They'll say that you didn't fire him soon enough.
He's like,
or at all. Yeah.
Hey, look, Brad, everything I've been doing with a plan. Everything's got a purpose.
Trust the plan? Is that what you're trying to say?
Just trust the plan. Fauci's a little troll. He kills all kinds of people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I,
You
I
know,
don't disagree with that.
back in the '90s, he was in the same position for the AIDS pandemic,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah.
the advice he gave, he said, "Hey, if you're a parent with AIDS, then you need to step 6 feet apart from your children so your children don't get AIDS."
I love that you've been working on your Fauci impersonation, Mr.
I've
President.
been working on all my impersonations.
I
They're
love it.
great, sir.
So, did you know? I just found this out. I've never been on Threads before, and I don't
I
know
don't
what's
know what
on
that is.
Threads. But Ian has been. He's become a prolific Threads troll,
Yeah, I'm guilty.
and he's
Guilty.
been sending me some of the things that people say on Threads.
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Didn't we have you should make vote president retard. You should make that one of your shirts, Ian.
Yes, sir. I will. I will. I've been using the word retard a lot on Threads. It really gets people upset.
Yeah,
So
vote president retard 2024.
I would like to share some of the. I don't have it on my phone, but just some of the comments that you see on Threads. Because I was like, is this what everybody talks about on Threads? And Ian responds to a lot of them and gets blocked by them pretty much right after. Let me see if I can pull up one of the things that you sent me here the other day. Threads. Hold on here. All right, here's one of them. All right, so somebody named Jerbale posted on
Gerbail.
Threads.
Gerbail the gerbler.
Yeah, I guess Jerbel the Gerbler said, as I close in on my 6th decade, I no longer want to be identified as gay. I'm a guy who is sexually and emotionally attracted to men. So a man who sleeps with men, as they call it in some of the documents. The sexual orientation labels were created by religious bigots. The labels put us in categories to be judged and punished. The labels imply I'm different, not normal. Fuck the labels. Having said that, I accept we as a society aren't ready to give up the bigotry and hate, so I still tell folks I'm gay if it comes up in conversation. So he sacrifices his own principles to identify as gay.
Because being gay is the equivalent to slave.
Yeah, and so Ian sarcastically responded under his troll account. Are you okay if I read the sarcastic comment, Ian?
Sure, sure.
He said, same. Every time I go down on a dude, I make sure he knows I'm not gay. I imagine he probably blocked you.
I mean, immediately. I had to screenshot that so fast because I knew I
Immediately
was
blocked
getting
you.
blocked.
Yeah.
What was the countdown? 3 seconds?
It was very fast. It was very fast, sir. Like I almost was afraid I was gonna lose that one.
Yeah, I want to help you come up with these t-shirts. I think you should make one for the opposite side too.
Oh, no.
Like if you can do it anonymously, I bet you make a lot of money. A lot of money selling shirts.
You could put that response on a shirt.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Try to sell that one. So here's another one from the Jessie Wu, who has a verified account on there.
The Jessie?
Yeah, the Vajessi. She says,
what is the Vajessi?
I don't know, but she says, why do men like having sex? And she spells it S-E-C-K-S. Why do they like having sex so much? What is it? That's an odd question. And then there was a response from someone called Writer Loves Coffee, who says, they've been taught to use it as an outlet for all their emotions rather than develop healthy emotional intelligence. And Ian responded with a thumbs up saying woman-splaining. I think that's a good response.
Yeah,
she blocked me.
She blocked me like 2 exchanges later. I just
don't you
put up
explain me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been accused of mansplaining.
Wait a minute, though. Hold on.
Calling them Karens will get you blocked immediately. So I've learned you got to nurture them a little bit. You can't go right in for the kill.
They why did she change the spelling? It's not like
I don't know. I don't know why she did that.
Like
it's a progressive thing. They want to fuck with language. They're fucking idiots.
It
makes sense. It makes sense if you think about the opposite of the plan, the 18-year plan by Hillary and Obama and the BlackRock Corporation, the Illuminati, the CIA.
It's
You know,
got
the
its own
deep state.
page on this Wikipedia. It's got, but it doesn't have an explanation for what it is.
But they want to confuse us. They're trying to confuse all of us so they can bamboozle us.
Right. And it does have a Urban Dictionary, but it doesn't. The explanations of it aren't.
They're going to be the ones who are feeling the bamboozling on day one dictatorship.
Day one, slitting throats like what DeSantis said. What is it with that one-day dictatorship everybody's so afraid of, Mr. President?
They're afraid that I'm going to lock up all their pedophile heroes. Like
Are
that
you?
Tom Hanks. I
Yeah.
love him. He's a great actor. Unfortunately, he's a child trafficking
You should
pedophile.
make his slave labor in prison be that he has to produce movies for like 30 cents an hour.
You know, that's a great idea. You know, the other thing I'm going to commission is the sequel to Trapped in the Closet. That's a wonderful picture.
R. Kelly did a very great. You should watch Trapped in the Closet. It's like 13 episodes. One of the
You know,
most
if-
hilarious
if-
things.
If he promised to make a sequel, I'd pardon him.
Here's another one that Ian shared with me from Radam Ridwan, who says that transphobic people, and this is all the stuff that you see on Threads, by the way.
All of it.
Transphobic people will call me a bloke in a dress. So I'm guessing this is a man who dressed like a woman. A bloke in a dress as if that's a bad thing. Like, of course, trans femmes are not blokes in dresses, but blokes in dresses are hot as F. Gender norms are harmful for everyone. Let people express themselves however they wish. And then Ian's troll character responded with LOL. 99% of people on the planet express themselves by conforming to gender norms. They are not harming anyone. Very valid point. Did you get blocked by that person?
This person has not blocked me. Another, I think the other one, he put a picture of himself up, and he was wearing a green dress that was like, I don't know what you call it. It doesn't have anything over the shoulders. Shoulderless.
Yeah, he's showing them
He's
shoulders.
shoulderless dress, green shoulderless dress, like neon green, and he had a cute little red purse and like purple shoes on.
Wait a minute.
I
Did
think
neon
is that.
green and purple and red go together?
Yeah, well, it doesn't
Doesn't matter if you're a bloke in a dress.
Yeah, I mean, more power to him, but it's just that what I think is funny is just every single account on there is either pro-Palestinian or trans.
It looks like it.
It's like every single account.
Well,
on
you
there.
know, all those Palestinians and Hamas, they'd be opening their arms to all the support from those trans.
Well,
Blokes in dresses.
And Mr. President, I gotta say, the reason I started doing this is because I'm launching a T-shirt company in January.
Mostly peaceful teas.
Mostly peaceful teas, and I thought Threads would be a fun tie-in.
Yeah, everybody go follow Ian at Mostly Peaceful Teas over there on Threads.
Yeah, I'm getting better at the troll thing. I was a little brother, so that helps. That's some it definitely gives
It
you.
definitely does help, for sure. Yeah, I am too. I like this one here. The either or.
Well, you were a
propaganda.
little brother in the Big Brother, Little Brother program.
No, in my family,
In
sir.
real life.
In my
Mr.
family, sir. In
President.
real
Yes,
life.
yeah. Listen to Aaron.
I still
here.
am a little brother. So,
Aaron says if you don't vote for President Biden in 2024, you are voting for Donald Trump, whether you select his name on the ballot or not. If you care about this country's future and the preservation of our democracy, you must vote for President Biden. And you said, under Mostly Peaceful Teas, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Biden will win even if you don't vote for him. He already did it once. I'm sure he blocked you.
yeah.
Oh, well, you got him there. You got him there. Whatever. And he's right. If you don't vote for President Biden, you're voting for President Trump.
That's right.
Who else are you going to be voting for? That's just common sense.
Well, third-party candidates would like to be able to get on the ballot. I don't know how.
They're not going to make it up to what? They got to get 10%. Those poor libertarians have never been able to do it.
So here is this is the last one we'll go through here, but this is you shared a profile with me of Moria, Grymoria. It sounds like a sexually transmitted disease.
Grimoria. I think it's Grimoria.
And his profile, or their profile, whatever, baby's profile.
She, they, it.
Okay, so
yeah, they
it's all of
clarify.
them.
It says
Yeah.
so they have. You have your bio.
That's the gender
Right?
called turducken.
They're called turducken. So it's like a trans turkey is called a turducken, like John Madden used to call them.
Yeah,
That's
transy.
right.
So
Every gender just stuffed up into the asshole of the other genders.
okay, and came up with a turducken. So the profile of this person says that they are a geeky, gothic, with Gothic, gamer, ghoul, 24 years old, a he, they, it are the pronouns, transmassic, non-binary, arrow, ace spectrum, autistic, atheist, ISTP-T, demunkin, minors don't interact. I don't know.
That's
what most
demonkin.
No,
Demonkin. Like
it's
foxkin
demonkin.
and all that.
I'm pretty
Demonkin, it's
sure
that
it's demonkin.
weird fucking thing, like a foxkin or dogkin, or you know what I'm talking about, Mr. President, right?
I thought it was
Foxykin.
debunking. I thought there was
Demunkin.
somebody that debunked
It's
things.
like a turducken. What does ISTP-T mean? Forrest Mommy says, "Damn, you got Trump. We have Trump here today with us.
Yeah.
He gave me Mein Kampf in my stocking." Forrest Mommy.
That's right. Merry Christmas, Brad. Merry
And a
Christmas.
cheeseburger. I was in a cheeseburger, fresh one somehow.
And Ian's Ian, I had to send you another stocking. It seems that yours was intercepted by the deep state.
Yeah, the CIA's doing all the cocaine. The former
It's the
president
thought that
sent in your
counts,
stocking.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Hunter Biden's cocaine. I stole it from him, and I put it all in your stocking. And
No,
I thought
don't,
you
do
could
not.
use
You don't have to mail me cocaine, sir. I
a-
really
thought
don't.
you could use a little pep in your step.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good, sir.
All right, so I have some clips. So George Santos did this interview with, I don't know who this chick is, but I pulled like a minute and a half of clips of him talking about people in Congress, and I'd love to get y'all's reaction to it if you guys are up for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see here. Well, Santos says, I don't like the whole story about him and the dog, where he like lied and raised a bunch of money, lying about a soul. I don't know if it's true. If it's true, then he's definitely a piece of shit, and he's probably a piece of shit anyway. But at least he doesn't lie about being a piece of shit like everybody else in Congress.
Look at this piece of
Look
shit.
at him. I mean, look how gay he looks. Just right okay, so
He looks.
I'll tell you.
Go on, Ian. Go on.
I'll tell you the truth about everything.
you know it, dude. He does.
he's
those
gonna dish.
He looks like a John Lovitz character.
He kind of does. All right,
She's got a Grace Jones thing going on,
yeah, a lot of eyeshadow.
which is not bad.
Who else in Congress is committing fraud?
They're all frauds.
Name them.
If you were to
Name
if you
'em.
were to put me
Name them.
if you were to put them all
Name 'em.
under the same scrutiny I was put under, you'd
Name
fucking
'em.
vacate the whole goddamn building.
Can
Hold
I
on,
name
hold on,
them and you
pause
just
it
wink
for
if
one
I
Go ahead.
Yeah. So
One, this guy is like a 1960s Batman character, doll face or something like that. He looks like a human doll.
does.
But why does she just keep
Botox.
going, name him, name him,
He
name him?
wants to name. He names
Yeah.
him in a second. He does name. Forrest Mommy says he's growing on me. I have to say, he is a little bit.
He looks like a doll.
All right. I think he does name some people here.
Vacate the whole goddamn building.
Can I name them and you just wink if I
Go ahead.
Marjorie Taylor Greene,
Go ahead.
No.
Kevin McCarthy,
Yes.
Lindsey Graham,
Yes.
Matt Gaetz,
No.
Bob Menendez,
Absolutely. Goldbar Menendez.
Dan Goldman,
He doesn't pay his rent. Dan is owing $180,000 worth of rent right now on his $45,000 monthly rent, which is what most Americans fucking make a year. You let that shit sink in.
The way you know everyone's business is humbling.
It froze up a little there.
It's like I love how they're all gonna take everything this guy says seriously now.
Right. So yeah.
Now he's constant. He was lying before, but this time
So
he's
what
telling
was
the
the
truth.
yes now was if they're taking bribes?
So, are they?
Lindsey Graham,
Yeah,
Let's see
the
what it
same scrutiny. I was whole goddamn building.
you just wink if
Go ahead.
I name them and you just wink.
If you were to
Name
if you
'em.
were
Who else in Congress is committing fraud?
Who's committing fraud? Is what it was. There's the picture of AI picture of Boebert getting a Heimlich maneuver from her date at the show. You see, you have to put in Heimlich maneuver if you want to get something like this, because they won't. You can't be like Boebert, having sex with her
So
date.
if
It
he
won't do
said
Doesn't even
no to
know.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she must be onto something with those Jewish space lasers.
it. All right, so what? I don't even know what he says in the next one here, but So that's the thing, though. He is a con artist, but I also believe him that everybody else is fucking corrupt. That's what they all are. They just pretend like they're not. So you
Right.
expel him, expel fucking all of them. He is right about that. And look at his eyes there. How far did we go?
Go ahead.
He looks like
Go
a
ahead.
human doll.
I like the way he
does.
said that. Go ahead.
Well, saw the Botox. Go ahead. That he got
Go
from his
ahead.
donors.
I love this double-breasted blazer thing that he's got going on. This,
Yeah, the guy thinks about his style a lot. He's very aware
ahead.
of how he appears in public.
He's going to put on a giant Panama Jack hat after this interview and walk
I
away.
would. So he would be a great guy to have do one. Like we do those improv shows where we have the guest speaker come and they speak, and we do the scenes off of that guy. He'd be a great guy to have come.
Excellent. Excellent.
Do you think it's appropriate for politicians to use terror for their own professional gain?
That's what politicians do.
So yes.
No, I'm not saying yes. I'm just saying, just look at all these politicians. They're hacks. They're not doing anything
That's phrasing up. Yeah, but he's right.
other than lying to you. If a politician's mouth is moving on Capitol Hill, they're lying to you.
But-
I thought he was
how
going to say they're
original.
sucking somebody's dick. Is what I thought he was going to say.
Yeah, I wonder if he was gonna. I wonder if he's mad because he didn't get to.
He wasn't on the
bang
Senate
that
floor.
staffer.
Yeah, he went in at the wrong time. I say if there's a sock on the door, the handle of the Senate Judiciary floor door,
Yeah.
don't go in. You're gonna walk
Yeah.
in on somebody, getting that knob turned. If the Senate floor is rocking, don't come a knocking. And I just feel like that's what they do. Like if Fetterman asks you to come hang out in the fucking Senate floor after midnight to do some grandstanding, don't fucking do it. Let's see what else he has to say. He's right there. They're all corrupt. So it's like this is like a convict just saying that everybody else is
Fetterman's
guilty.
not allowed to use 4-letter words.
No, they're forbidden. Although Fetterman's been sounding like people on the right have been loving Fetterman lately.
Are you alt-right for clout, or do you actually believe that drag queens are a greater threat to children than guns?
I love drag queens. Let's set the record straight. I don't like drag queens for kids.
You said that they were worse for children than guns.
I still think drag queens are not for kids.
No one is saying that they are for children.
Then why are there drag time story hours?
Oh my goodness gracious, we're not going to get anywhere with that. Coming up,
Who is this woman interviewing him?
She's a comedian. I don't even know what this network is.
in the words of Lady Gaga, you live for the applause. Are you like Tinkerbell? If we stopped clapping, would you disappear?
No,
You wouldn't.
no.
What could we do to get you to go away?
Stop inviting me to your gigs.
He's got you there.
So no Dancing with the Stars.
He
Dude,
does. He absolutely is correct. And listen to what he says here. He's 100% correct.
No,
No RuPaul's Drag Race.
I haven't got that invite yet. I'd love to go read a.
The lesson is to stop inviting you places.
She looks like she just took a
you
shit.
can't. Because people want the content.
I got a question for her. If people start laughing at her, will she go away?
Maybe. Yeah, that whole interview is her just. It's,
She's got that stink face on.
she really does.
She looks like oh my gosh. Who
She does a
keeps
pretty good
farting?
job of the interview, though. She's not, I could see her being funny. But did you see what he said there? He said, "You're never going to stop asking me because you want the content."
Brad, I'm starting to question what you know about comedy if you can see her being funny.
Well, I watched this whole thing, Mr. President, and I'm not saying that she is funny. I'm saying she probably is funny in real life when she's not doing. I'm just trying to push a political point, progressive comedy, because she. So you know how you can tell when people are funny, but they've like got their attention. Like Stephen Colbert used to be a funny person, and I'm sure he still has that in him. But now he just goes for snaps, and he likes to reward himself with blowing himself.
I don't know. There doesn't look like anything funny about this one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's they're all these late night comedians are like buying time from Santos on Cameo. So he started off charging like a couple $100 on Cameo, which Cameo is this website where you can you're like I'm this figure or whatever, and you can come talk to me, or I'll make a video, or I'll tell your friend happy birthday
Say happy
for
birthday or whatever.
Yeah, and so he started off like $200, and then Kimmel and Colbert and all these. So he's exactly right when he's like, you can't quit me, bitches. Is kind of like what he's saying, And he's right. So they act like they hate him, but they're the reason that people that I'm playing this clip and that people are still talking about him because they can't fucking quit him. So, say what you will. I'm sure he is a piece of shit, especially the fucking dog story is true, but he's not wrong about anything he said in these clips. Would you consider him as a vice president candidate, Mr. President?
The doll man?
Yeah, Doll Man Santos.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, right. Who
I don't
would you
think so.
consider?
I couldn't look at him long enough.
Yeah, he'd have to. Yeah, he'd have to wear a bag over his head. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he'd definitely have to wear a bag over his head.
That's what
I just can't take that guy seriously. He looks like a Batman villain.
he does look like a Batman.
does.
Then that means you could dress like Batman.
Like an
Right.
Adam West Batman villain.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's the Adam West era Batman. And, I'd look great in that Adam West Batman suit.
You
I
would.
agree.
We're about the same size, Adam and I.
So, yeah, he's right, and all of the media is bullshit. All they want are fucking, like, sensationalist shit like that. And that's why somebody like him gets elected in the first place. It's because that shit works.
Yeah.
So I got another video for you guys if you guys have a few more minutes to stick
Sure, a
around.
few more, sure.
This is from MSNBC, and I didn't cut it. I just figured I'd play it. It's like 5 minutes, and the headline is like,
So wait a
They-
minute. The left hates the Santos guy because he's a whistleblower on everybody else being corrupt too. Because
that's
he
what
got
they
caught.
no, they hate him because he was promoting Trump stuff, MAGA stuff. And now, I mean, they actually love him, though. There's all these articles about does Santos have a career in Hollywood?
Right. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like this guy, you just covered this guy's exile. You cheered it on, and now you're going to make him a star. You sick
Right.
fucks.
And that's
they did to that Tiger kid.
You sick fucking people.
and it's like Fetterman was talking about how they should get that Menendez guy out if they're going to get rid of him. That's why people on the right were like, yeah, Fetterman is right for once. And
He
I
wouldn't
mean,
have
he
said
is.
that if he hadn't had a stroke.
It's like, right. I mean, people voted for the guy,
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like-
water baby Fetterman.
Yeah, old Fetterman. So, all right, this
Senator
is a
Mongo.
video of what they call these guys at this, like, I don't remember what the.
Do they
Repu-
still let him wear sweatpants and no
No,
shoes?
he wears them wherever. They did that stunt where they let him be the speaker for like a day. He got to address everybody, but then he changed it again. I don't
So
know
wait
why.
a minute. Do they do things like that just to make retards feel special?
They do, sir.
Yeah, Mr. President, I would like for you to make that. You're no longer going to allow them to make retards feel special. I'd like to be that part of your 2024 campaign.
I don't know. I'd like to see you. Hold on. I'd like to see you make every cabinet member in your cabinet retarded.
It wouldn't be hard.
And you need to identify as a black woman so you can be the first black female president. Which I wanted you to do on the last day of your first term, but you didn't do it. All right.
No, instead I inspired an insurrection.
Yeah, did you send everybody a copy of the gift that you gave me, the Mein Kampf?
Yeah, that's right. I said when you get in there, make sure you pee all over Nancy Pelosi's gavel.
Yeah, because she gets really horny. Again,
Just the smell of urine will drive her crazy.
yeah, Pelosi's got that body though, man. She goes wild when she smells you.
Like that Harambe.
All right. These are a bunch of like kids that are like 20 years old. They're at that. I can't remember what the name of that popular Republican young Republicans organization is. T something, but basically the title
Turning
was.
Point.
Yeah, that's it. I think it was Turning Point.
Yeah.
The title was like misogynist young Republicans or something like that. Talk about how they hate Nikki Haley, and this is on MSNBC. Listen to some of the questions they're asked, and their answers are pretty funny. Oh, there it goes. Effing up.
There it goes. And you got that fiber, don't you?
I got that friggin' fiber, dude. Hold
That's
on.
all a lie,
Look at
Brad.
it. File not found.
It's all a lie.
They, it must have been The CIA must have known we were going to do that.
We'll scrub it.
Oh, no, here it is. Yeah, they say they're spreading.
You know,
these
you guys should
sexist-
come hang out in my skiff sometime.
You have a personal skiff?
Yeah, in Mar-a-Lago.
What's in there?
Just stuff.
All right, here it is.
You know, a lot of things that I collected out of my Happy Meals.
Yeah, a lot of old Happy Meal toys.
Love those Happy Meal toys.
Yeah.
What'd you make of her?
Yeah, that's in total L.
The question was, Nikki Haley, what'd you make of her?
Nikki Haley, what'd you make of her?
Yeah, that's in total L candidate. She's obviously a feminist, and she's hiding it for the Republican voters.
She's done nothing to impress me, and yeah, she's a feminist and not a fan.
What's wrong with feminism in your guys?
So feminism is one of the biggest anti-women movements on the entire planet, and it's also one of the biggest lies. It's empowering women to be super independent and, do these certain things, when in reality, we need to bring them back to the kitchen. Let's be honest, they're happiest at the home. We need to bring the families back together. The foundation of society is a family. And if you want to destroy the family, what do? Get the women out of the home.
I mean, he's absolutely right. You know, that kid should be on corners in every major city in America.
He said, bring him back to the kitchen.
He cannot be serious. He's got to be.
He's got to be messing with him. He's got to know he's talking to MSNBC.
Yes.
But they take him seriously, though, and then they do commentary on it.
Yeah, of course. And that's what's so funny about it, because he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Okay, NBC's Vaughn Hilliard is following this for us.
This is Neil
And
Patrick
joining us
Harris.
Yeah.
My gosh. I'm kind of a little awestruck by what I just heard there. That's sexist language. And saying something that's wrong with feminism, saying that women need to be back in the home, back in the kitchen, going out of the home is what destroys a family.
But by the way, if she's going to be saying that, she should button her shirt up.
She is aghast. She is aghast. And look at those cheekbones and that nose could cut glass.
You think she's good at cooking anything?
She's never made a sandwich in her life. Her husband makes all the sandwiches.
I can't even believe I'm hearing that in this.
What was that? That
You think
propagandist, Brad, the machine gun girl who wants the baby boy bitch wives or whatever.
What? Who are you
The
talking
army
about?
recruiting.
You talking about the e-girl that was doing the
Yeah.
army recruiting stuff,
Yeah.
the real hot chick who was
Yeah.
like, come be in the army with me, blowing off guns.
Come
Yes.
be my baby boy bitch wife.
And then all these people show up and they're in the military. They're like, where's this fucking hot e-chick that I was supposed to have sex with? And she's nowhere to be found.
Just showering with dudes.
And that guy, you're right, he does kind of resemble Neil Patrick Harris.
You
a
think
little
he
bit,
can cook anything either? You think he's?
No.
You think he? Yeah.
but, well, he
Neither one
might
of
be
them.
able to cook.
These two people burn everything.
He
in the
can
kitchen.
suck
They
dick,
get
I
really
think.
upset and then they order Grubhub.
Look at
No,
the
they probably got
expression on his
personal
face.
chefs.
Huh? Yeah, you're right. They probably do have chefs.
Do you see how angry he's like trying to clench his jaw here? I can't wait.
He's like,
to
I gotta go do child surgery right after this.
He's saying to himself, "My fingers are so dainty."
Day and age from a young person.
Right.
Are you surprised by that?
No.
Okay.
I think the hardest part, if I may, one of the harder parts of my job of being a political reporter and going out and talking to folks at events is trying to have a discussion about policy and substance.
So
but
he's the
that's
guy
not
that asked
policy
the
and
question.
substance. What
No.
you just said, that's sexist.
Yeah.
It's just, it is, we are so far beyond that line of thinking, yet you heard that individual. He's 20 years old. There is a subsect of the American population where young people are growing up in homes where that is their view of how this
Families are
country
together.
should be. And that event there, Turning Point USA, this organization that is putting this on, they are a massive organization that has raised more than hundreds of millions of dollars over the last several years. These are the young people that they are turning into political operatives, working on campaigns. They're the heart and soul of the future of the Republican Party.
Did you notice that he asked her for permission to speak before he started?
Oh, good eye.
Yeah.
I think I've realized what the problem is. I think they think the phrase "put the woman back in the kitchen" is they're taking it literally.
Of course, they always do.
Right? They think you're going to put her in the kitchen and never let her leave. But no, she can leave to go to the bathroom and go to the grocery store to get...
can't.
No. See, now this is where you and I split, dude. You know, I will let my wife leave the kitchen to go get more food to cook.
I just imagine, yeah. Well,
I'll let my wife
you're
leave
gay,
to go to
dude.
Pilates, yoga, dance, whatever she wants
Yeah.
to
Oh,
do. To stay
wow,
with
you're
the-
super liberal.
Yeah, dude. So this guy, I just imagine him like a tear coming down his face as he's interviewing these guys.
What a dork.
By the way, this cheeseburger that you put in that stocking you sent me, Mr. President.
You're
It's
not.
delicious, isn't it?
It's delicious.
I'm so sorry, Ian. I thought I thought it was gonna get to you.
You know, sir, it's okay.
Fresh,
It's okay.
just like you said. I don't know how. It's fresh. Let's see what this guy has to. What else he has to say.
That makes me worried. Conspiracy theories as well.
Oh, of
Alive and well. I want to play some of that for folks, and then we'll talk.
Oh, some more.
But it is clear that the election is stolen. If you look at it from a logical standpoint, it's hard to believe that many people voted for Biden.
The media stole the 2020 election. The minute that Donald Trump was sworn into office, the media, CNN, many other outlets, including NBC, I would argue, have said things where they've slandered the approach and messaging, and they've argued that Donald Trump is this most horrible, awful person, basically equivalent to Hitler. That's where the election started to be stolen.
Yes, I think January 6th might have been an inside job.
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe it was some sort of inside job, especially at the time being. It was perfect to set Trump up for disaster.
I don't think it was an insurrection. There wasn't much violence.
Oh, he doesn't.
I definitely know you're not surprised by any of that. That spans every age of the Republican Party right now, reiterating really the lie of the former president of the United States, Rudy Giuliani, and others that continue to say the election was stolen in 2020.
Right. Those conversations that our
She
great
talks
embed
down
Alex
to her
Tappet was
entire
having.
audience.
She does talk down to him. You're right. I feel like he's sitting on a really high stool and he has very tiny legs.
Yeah, his mom's going to pick him up after this and take him home.
Yeah, she's waiting outside. Forrest mommy
He
says.
rides around in a baby Bjorn.
That's how he gets in there. She says they have no substance, the news, and they always bring up stupid stuff. That's exactly what they do. And that's what they're doing here.
Well, yeah, why would they pick these clips? I'm sure they talk to all kinds of people.
And you
why
saw
are
the way they cut it too. Yeah.
You're asking these what you know what answers you're going to get. That's like me when they're trolling. That's
They're
all
trolling.
they're doing is they're trolling.
Right. Yeah, they're trolling and they're trying to like be serious about it and then report it
Yeah.
as news. And look, really,
I'm gonna hire those kids to work on my campaign.
you should. They would happily do it, except that one last kid who doesn't think the election was stolen. He'd be a plant for the.
Oh, that
other
guy's an idiot.
side. But like these people, though. So friends that we have, this is the only news that they get.
And this is how they actually react. They go,
It is. It is how they react.
I mean, he stole it. How could you even think about voting for him?
They think that that's a dangerous statement to consider that there was fraud. In
Well, they
2020
think thoughts are dangerous.
They do. Yet 2016, they happy to consider fraud, but they actually see it as conspiratorial, and they see the word conspiracy as right-wing, dangerous Nazism. They have all of these dangerous points that they just link together, Like everything
they're
is
all
just...
like that robot from Lost in Space. Danger,
Yeah.
Will Robinson.
They do it. They
so
do
up
it.
on culture, Mr. President.
They do it to cast spells. That's what they're doing, man. That's and you got to break it.
Yeah, so
that's
it's an
what words-
affirmation. They know that their audience, their target audience, is a sect of people that hate watching. But then you have people who are just going to satisfy their confirmation bias. And they've been pre-programmed, and they see this stuff, and they have no incentive to go seek out information that would undermine what they want to believe and cause cognitive dissonance, which is like a literal pain in the brain. It's what Aristotle talked about learning causes actual pain. It does, because it creates new nodes in your brain. And they know how they've done all these freaking social science experiments for over 100 years through the Tavistock Institute, and they put people like this guy. I mean, this is not a serious journalist here, but he's being presented as such.
Oh, the pocket journalist.
The pocket journalist. Yeah, he's like an elf on the shelf for MSNBC.
He's gonna watch you. Don't touch him though.
Yeah, he'll
Don't
be
touch him.
masturbating.
He wears a boy's size 8.
You're right. That's a women's suit. He's wearing. That's a pantsuit. That's on there. Let's give it another 30 seconds to this. So.
There. Those are reflective of such a great share of the Republican electorate today. 18 years old, that young guy. When Donald Trump announced he was running for the White House, he was 10 years old. For this generation, they have grown up with essentially Donald Trump as the elder, the statesman, the face of this party, and
That's
election
their
announcing. They
reality.
trust him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the age of their grandpas.
Yeah.
You trust somebody who is the president of the United States. You trust the leader of your party, especially when your parents and your grandparents view him and hail him as the embodiment of a great American patriot.
So you said it. Many of these are new voters. They're young
Biden-
voters, right?
Biden is the age of that guy's grandfather.
He said they hail him?
They hail him. Yeah, like Hitler. They hail Trump.
Or like some kind of demon?
Yeah, they conjure him up.
Yeah, that's what everybody does. They get outside of their salt circles.
Look at this.
They make a giant McDonald's M inside of it.
Yeah.
And then poof, I pop up out of there.
Pop up out of your toy and you come to life out of the bag. So you see this woman here with her shirt unbuttoned, it's like she's like trying to attract this gay man in this interaction. Like she's the school teacher.
It looks like she put her nose in a vice grip and just cranked it down as hard as she possibly could and said, I want to look like a cartoon character.
It's just ridiculous. Like, this is a clearly gay guy, which is fine. But like, it's like, why it looks like she's trying to lure him in, like she's trying to turn him. Maybe.
Biden just tweeted about me. He says that the greatest threat to democracy, aside from me, is if we lose. They lose everything. And he's right. They will lose everything. They'll lose their way of life, which they hold so dear in their corrupt little arms. When I parade them around the country.
Are you going to parade them around?
As pedophiles.
Wow. See, that's what
Joe Biden and Anthony Fauci, they got a lot of blood on their hands. A lot of blood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
18, 19, 20 years old. Where are they leaning? Are they leaning towards the former president for a re-election?
Absolutely. They had a straw poll at there, and 86% of the young people there voted for Donald Trump. There was 8% for Ron DeSantis, 8% for Vivek Ramaswamy. Ramaswamy spoke at this event and is very popular, oftentimes mentioned as the second choice because he's very much a Donald Trump, but a newer, younger Donald Trump. Nikki Haley, you heard one of those voices there. There's a view that she is a globalist, is a word that is so often used. Not America
we don't know what
first.
That means.
There is a very insulated view of what America's role should be on the world stage, and that they need to be closing the borders. They need to be taking care of people at home, and that is where you hear.
There's this brand new fear of a one world order and globalism and new world order. This fear just started with me. It had nothing to do with biblical prophecies.
Slow it down. Are you saying global? What are you saying? Global?
Globalist.
Yeah, he's very confused by that, this guy.
Jeez.
And so they have this narrative that they've been popping this in and out for a little while now, but they're pushing it pretty hard at the moment, and they definitely will in 2024. It's the threat of the Christian nationalist. That's the most dangerous threat, and they
might just pray for you.
Right, yeah. So the thing about Christian nationalism is most Christians are like, that's counter, like Christian nationalism. First of all, they don't know what it is, and the ones who have an idea of what they think it is, they say that's counter to what Christ teaches. He's welcoming but what they have created, and they actually have identified Putin as the world's leader in the Christian nationalist movement with MAGA and Trump, following it underneath. That's what I'm talking about. When they tie all these stupid loose ends together, this bullshit narrative.
There is, though, something I haven't really started to dig into, but I do think the far right. Something I heard recently that the far right is just the right hand of the far left. And I'm going to explore that a little bit more. Because that really compelled me.
So in the study, they talked a little bit about something similar to that, but the
horseshoe thing.
I mean, come on. Don't act like they're not just giving each other hand jobs behind closed doors.
Maybe they are. I think a lot of them actually are. I think the extremists on both ends are they're just activist organizers. But this Christian nationalism thing, they're just trying to brand Christianity as it's very vague, and like all of the ways they determine. First of all, nobody knew who Christian nationalism is. So the poll was conducted by this group that is funded by a Muslim organization and a Democrat organization. And the Muslim organization is actually known because they banned LGBT people from their group. Yet
because they're Islamic nationalists.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, they banned them because it was a religious thing. But they are also in this report saying that a characteristic of Christian nationalism are people who ban LGBTQ people from things. The people who funded it did the same fucking thing, and it's just a propaganda report that they want to use to tie the fuck. They've been creating this like Russian Trump Christian white male Karen female villain for the past like 5 years that they're really going to be propping up in 2024.
I say bring it, let's go.
Bring it. All right, cool. Well, Ian, do you have, we have like 5 minutes to do one more quick
Sure,
story,
man.
get the hell out of here?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, by the way. Again, Trump, thank you for the president, or the present, Mr. President. And,
yeah, it'll be a president, too.
Yeah, maybe one day. And that burger is delicious, by the way. I've never eaten a burger.
You gonna finish it later, huh?
I'll definitely finish it later because obviously it's durable because very fresh. So I figure we'll pick one of these stories again and just go through one of these. Love doing the smoking gun stories. We have that. Man busted. So, Mr. President, the way we do this, I'll just read you some of these headlines from Smoking Gun, and we just pick one to go through. We have man busted in dress holding burglar's tool. That's one. Then you have man
Sounds
poisoned.
like Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Kind of, actually. You got man poisoned Ken's meatballs with Visine. Then Santa Claus collared for dog killing. That's awful, Santa. It's very, very awful. Let's back here.
They're trying to ruin Santa Claus.
Trying to smear his reputation.
It's a war on Christmas.
It is a war on Christmas. Man charged with horrid canine. We don't want to do that one. Trump superfan convicted of voter fraud. Don't want to do that one either. Gunfire erupted after golden shower. We did that one. Did we do husband linked to domestic sausage batter? I think we did. We could do the Friday photo fun game where you try to match.
Do that. Let's do that.
We'll do the photo match game. So the way that this works, let me get that one up on screen, is they put these photos up of people who've been arrested in Florida, and you pick what crime they've been arrested with, and we see who gets it right. So, all right. Can you guys see that? Let me make it a little bit bigger. Okay, there you are. So you see the images, Mr. President. There's like multiple people with. Why do they all have KISS shirts on? Is that superimposed or is that legitimate? There's no way they all have KISS shirts on. Is that real?
They all have KISS shirts on.
They're all wearing KISS shirts. You got looks like two white dudes. One doesn't have much hair. The other one has a lot of hair. A black woman with blonde black threads, or what are those called?
Dreads.
Dreads. I said threads. Like
Yarn.
thinking about threads.
I don't know.
And then you got a tall black guy. Well, it looks like he's top of the image anyway. And then kind of a laid back, a little bit more content black guy with the image. And the potential crimes are.
Okay.
The first one is tampering with a motor vehicle. The second one is property damage. The third one is assault. The fourth one is narcotics possession. And the fifth one is driving while intoxicated. So let's start with the female here who's smiling in her mugshot with the KISS shirt on and the dreads. What do you guys think? Which crime did she commit?
I'm going to say narcotics possession.
You're good narcotics possession.
I'm saying driving while intoxicated.
Driving while intoxicated. I'm going to say, let me see. I'm going to say assault with her. That's what I'm going to go with.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got this guy with this white
Gary
dude.
Busey.
Gary Busey with he's got the shag hair.
I think he was tampering with a motor vehicle.
Yeah, I'm going with that too. That was my first instinct.
I agree.
As well.
He looks like he was stealing a car. Yeah, tampering somehow. And then this guy who's got his head. He looks so. This guy's mugshot. He's looks tall and he's kind of leaning his head down and looking over at somebody like he's maybe going to try and sexually assault.
I think assault with that guy.
Assault. That guy's definitely. He just headbutts somebody.
You guys are going to go, assault with. I'm going to say narcotics possession for that guy. Actually, I'm going to say driving while intoxicated for that guy. All right, fourth guy.
Property damage.
Property damage. This guy's kind of a little bit more content. Not too guilty in his picture, just taking the picture. Property damage. Which one have I not done yet? Narcotic possession. Tampering, I've done that one. Yeah, I'm going to go property damage with that guy also. And then the fourth one is somebody
That's the narcotics possession for me.
A character probably in the new GTA.
I think that guy's driving while intoxicated.
I can't remember which ones I've done. I've done driving while intoxicated. I've done narcotics.
You didn't do assault.
Assault. So, all right, he's assault. Although I have a feeling I might be wrong.
I just care about the Gary Busey answer, honestly.
All right, let's find out what the answers are.
No, you said she was assault. That's right.
Yeah, I thought I said she was. I think she's assault.
Yeah.
Looking at it. Yeah, I think she's assault.
You didn't do DWI, did you?
I think she was stoned.
Do you think she was driving while intoxicated? So assault
you didn't
for
do
me
DWI. Yeah.
On the first one. Just to refresh it, I might change it a little bit because I don't remember exactly what it is. Assault for the chick, a Gary Busey guy, tampering with a motor vehicle.
We all said that one.
Yeah, this guy here, narcotics possession is what I said.
I think
this guy here, driving while intoxicated, and this guy
You said property damage.
Oh, I said property damage for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this guy here, driving while intoxicated. All right, there's my guesses. Let's see.
Yeah, the guy looks hammered anyway.
Oh, I guess I got to put an answer, so we'll just see what the answers are.
Oh, you actually did it.
You didn't even do it right.
Well, I know. Let me just make that smaller. No, so the chick with the dreads was tampering with a motor vehicle. The guy, Gary Busey, he was property damage. We all got that one right. Right?
No, we said he was tampering.
We said he was tampering with a motor vehicle.
Yeah, we said he was tampering with a motor vehicle. I just put the
assault. Ian and I knew that guy.
Yeah, we could tell just by looking at him.
Look on his face. You're right. He did assault them. And then this guy here, narcotics possession.
And then that drunkard right there.
Driving while intoxicated. I don't think I got any of them right.
No.
I got two of them right.
Of course.
See, that just proves how racist the justice system is. Look
it's
racist. Look what we just did.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
they lock them up.
Lock them all up. Well, I hope that they, they're being persecuted a lot like you, Mr. President, with everything going on here, and so you probably have some sort of bond.
I do empathize with them. On day one, we're just gonna free all the criminals too and let them run wild for an entire day.
All right.
Like the Purge.
Yes, definitely. Okay, thank you guys for hanging out. And Mr. President, Ian, I appreciate it. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. I don't know if we'll do another show before Christmas. Maybe one. But,
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, indeed. We got to say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Remember to say Merry Christmas in public.
Yes, sir.
I'm not afraid to. Yeah. I go outside of mosque and I just
say
shout.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. As loud as I can.
He said,
Good night, Forrest Mommy. Thank you for everybody who hung out in the chats on RockFan on Rumble and on YouTube. We appreciate that. And
we're doing an after party. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, we're all gonna go. Hunter's coming. We're all gonna go do some blow at the after party, Mr. President. Is there anything that you gave President Biden for Christmas before we get out of here?
Just a whole lot of coal.
A whole lot of coal in his stocking. All right.
And I owe you one day in jail at least.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we'll see what happens. And thank you guys. You got Ian. You can find Ian on Threads at Mostly Peaceful T-shirts and
just Mostly Peaceful
And then on
TES.
Twitter, you play a progressive character on Twitter as well.
X, I
Reginald.
guess it's called X. I can't even
X.
call it. It's Reginald Vandermeer. Yeah, Reginald V. Reg V Actor. That's Reginald V Actor.
The actor and Action Show Studios. If you want to find out a little bit more about fake Trump here, does a lot of great stuff there. So we'll talk to you guys next time. Have a fantastic rest of your
Merry Christmas.
day.
Merry Christmas.
Keep being soldiers in the war on Christmas.
All right.